I am very pleased now to pass it off to Jon Moser, our founder and CEO, to start his keynote session.
So thank you, Morgan. It's great to be with everyone again this year. Those that have been with us in person over the past years, we miss seeing you all. But we are going to make the best of this virtual event, and we have a lot to share today. So getting started here, I think it's really appropriate, knowing where we are in the world right now, things that are going on, that we just take a moment of silence for our schools that are in Eastern Europe, Ukraine, Russia, the children, the parents that are separated in the Ukraine, those that are taking people in. If we could just take 3-4 seconds and just have a moment of silence for those people over there. Okay, getting into the keynote here. We have a lot to share today. But what I want to do is start out is really put a baseline out there of what we're dealing with. And then we're going to look at how do we move forward? How do we solve this? How do we make this easier for everyone? We all know there's a global pandemic going on. We have a war in the Ukraine. We have inflation in the US. People are looking at uncertainty as we go forward. And with these effects going on in our schools, the schools have this ongoing crisis, right? There's this demand for increased communication and marketing. School competition's going up. So like if the school that I'm sending my kids to, I'm not happy with, I'm looking to move. I'm looking to see if there's other options. Recruitment and retention is a little more difficult than it's been. And there's just these expectations that keep going up. We thought during COVID they were high, but with everything going on, it's just this heightened, elevated, almost like this continual crisis that we're all dealing with. We even look at the value exchange. We think about parents, and they're dealing with uncertainty of the future. They're looking at how much money do they have to spend, or how much time are they going to invest? And they're on this emotional roller coaster of like experience, what they expect, how things should go. And it's because there's a lot of uncertainty around us, and then it ties back to our schools. So we're all dealing with this at a level. Now think about this here. 52% of parents consider finding a new school for their children in the last year. 52%. What we're basically saying is parents are not satisfied. COVID basically opened our schools up. A lot of schools went virtual. People saw what was being taught, and what they expect for their children is much greater than what they expect or what they thought was going on. So again, it's just these expectations that we're dealing with. In 2022, school choice has been introduced in 27 state legislatures, up from 19 in 2021. The demand that parents are putting on and saying, hey, I want to be able to choose. So if I'm going to, my kids are going to this district in this state, I want a choice to send my kid to another school. And it's just escalating as we go. One more thing around teachers and faculty. We're looking at like, how do we hire teachers? Because just in 2021, we had a decrease of 200,000 teachers in education. They are not being filled in a lot of cases. So how do we manage the expectations of our parents as we go forward? We look at the international school market. In the past 10 years, if we're comparing, there's more schools being built than there's actually number of student growth that is going on in the international market. So as we look at all these stats, we're looking at Administrators, admission directors, communication officers. The stakes are high. But my goal today is to help make your lives easier as you have to look at dealing with all these things going on, this continual crisis that we're in, and how do we keep a balance and make sure we're doing the right thing. So where do we go from here? So here are the 4 things that I would like to focus on today. So we want a good communication strategy. We want to streamline what we're doing today. We want to boost our digital marketing, making sure that those that are finding us in the right place, and they're looking in the right place, and they're finding the right content. We want to amplify recruitment and retention. We know keeping our students are super important. And lean in on products and partners. So how can the tools that you have make your life easier as we go forward? So let's talk about communications as we get started here. So I really love this slide, right? I think about how parents, how grandparents, how those that are responsible for the children at the school want to be communicated to, right? I think back into the 2000s, right? The early 2000s. They were like, all right, I want to email. We need to make sure we have this great email that goes out. We got to make sure stuff's moving in the email that goes out, and the newsletter's got to be cute, are the terms we use. We need the website. Hey, the question is the PDF up on the website? If it's not up on the website, just put it up on the website. Doesn't matter where. And all of a sudden, these websites had all this content on it. And what we're dealing with today is that people want their content delivered to them in so many different ways, whether it's social media. And I know, I just saw a stat the other day. We have smartphones, right? We have our smartphones that we all use. But there is this huge push going back to dumb phones. Right? There's this desire to disconnect a little bit, but still be connected. Direct mail and paper are back, right? We have to really think about how we're going to communicate. The mobile app, super important. We have virtual events and in-person events. People would love, they sit on Facebook. They want to push out to see what's going on, and they're on Facebook, so that's where they're getting their news. The LMS, when we're talking teachers, teachers are there working with their students. That's how they're getting a lot of their communications. So how do we pull this all together? 83% of consumers expect immediate engagement when they contact a company. Do you guys feel this way? When I, connect with this company, I'm looking for some sort of service, and every time I call for support, right? You are on hold. We have extreme call volumes right now. It's you have them all the time. And we don't want that. At Finalsite, my goal is to make sure we support you as soon as we can, and our response time as quick as we possibly can. We're really thoughtful around that. But what about schools? The expectations of a parent when I call in and I need to find out something about my kid, or where's the sporting event? The calendar event changed. We have this new event going on. What's the rules today? What's changing? So here we are, schools are looking at this going what are we going to do? So we've been listening. We really have. And we are launching Messages XR for all of our schools. Some of you already use some of these features, like email. We have some level of texting going on, right? We have a mobile app, we have some social push, we have a website. But this bundle pulls everything together to make sure all of your communication gets easier. Our goal is to relieve your pain points, your stress that you're dealing with at school with this constant push for information and stuff going on. So let's talk about Messages XR for a minute here. All right, so the goal of this, and we'll go through each of these, but you can publish everywhere with one click. You can focus on parent satisfaction, so they're getting the information they want in the right format, right? We just went over that. Easily translated content, right? So if you want to push it out in Spanish, Mandarin, it's so much easier. You can save time with scheduling. So you can build your program and your stuff that you want to send out, and in the morning it goes out. You actually could look really good too. You could send it out at 10 at night, even though you're not working, but everyone's be like, wow, that communication director is doing an amazing job. Excuse me. And then we're focused on how do we make sure the content is up to date and is accurate. So let's look here a minute. So here's the interface. So you can send an email, you can push to a mobile app, you can send an SMS message, and you can send audio all in one interface, all at one time. You can program it and send it out at a specific date and time to make sure that we're communicating the right way. But the whole idea is let's tie everything together, right? The website, the emails that go out, the push notifications, everything's tied together now instead of you having to go into different products and connect them. Let's keep going here. So parents can log in and pick how they want specific communications. And it's funny, right? Certain people are like, call me, please. If there's a snow day, please call me. Another person's like, if my phone rings in the morning, I get so annoyed. So I rather have an email and a text to my phone. So when I wake up, I can get that. And then you have all these other communication realms, whether it's sporting events to just like, hey, there's a change today. We have an outbreak in this. Or, hey, this is going on right now. We need to change this. There's no power at the school. Whatever it may be, parents can select how they want to get the information and in what way. So let's go back one screen. So also think about translation, right? This has been really hard in the past. So now you write up your message, how you want it, in a beautiful format. You can personalize it, and then you can pick what language and what you want to translate, what language you want to send that message out at. So our goal is to make your communication easier and make it so whatever group of people you're sending it to, it goes in the right format. And then we're doubling down. We want to make sure your data is in the best format. So we integrate with all these partners out there, the SISs. If your SIS isn't there, please let us know. We want to continue to add them and make sure your data is getting through in the cleanest, simplest way. So there's one master database. You update the parent data here, it automatically updates in the Finalsite communication and in the Messages XR. So it's easier to send out this information as we go forward. Okay, as I'm going through my presentation, you're going to see some sessions come in. If this is like exciting to you, you definitely want to go to the 1055 sessions. I was made for loving you. So definitely think about this. All right, let's think about our digital marketing efforts for a minute. So what are we doing here? So our goal is to attract, recruit, nurture, retain, and engage. We want to make sure people are considering our school. So now if I'm a private school, international school, charter school, like this all makes sense. But if you're a public school district, you really want parents moving into the town, you want those tax dollars applied to your school because that helps pay the operating budget, that helps the teachers, that helps all of the variables. At a private school, we want to recruit, we want to nurture, we want to make sure we're using inbound marketing techniques as we go forward and we put those pieces in place. We want to look at how we engage, like how are we connecting with these folks? How do we, if we're a public school district, the foundation attached to your district, how are they getting donations? Let's make sure there's engagement. If we're a private school or international school, let's make sure that we're working that whole marketing funnel. And how do we do that? Here's some stats that I think are really cool. So EMA did some surveys out there, some independent schools and schools around, and they found the website is the #1 source the number one source where people go for information. This is because they've been trained, right? Number 2 is fairs and open houses. Number 3, families, friends, and referrals. And then school emails and school and district emails are the other place. But your mobile phone and your mobile app are the other 2 places that are super important. I recommend very highly that schools get the mobile app. Yeah, your website's mobile friendly, but you want to be able to push a message to your parents now with Messages XR right to the mobile phone, or send a text, or send an email. All of this environment pulls together. So we really need to be thinking this way. 75% of people base the credibility of a business on how their website looks. What about a school? Like, most people are doing their shopping of, hey, I moved into this town, or I'm considering to move into this town. What does the school website look like? What does it look like? What are the activities going on? How do they communicate? And just that look and feel makes you want to decide if you want to buy there. I don't know. I have a farm too. Some of you know me. I have a farm. I have chickens. We have a stand. We sell produce. We have a website too for our farm. If that website looks good, tells a good story, there's this rule like know your farmer, buy from your farmer, and you really want to know what who the person is, who you're dealing with. So the website is what people are using to make judgment calls, right? And then design is that first impression. 94% of first impressions are design related. So if things look good, I feel more comfortable. I feel like these guys got it together, right? Like they know what they're doing. If I go there and I'm like, I can't find this. This is not intuitive, or this doesn't make sense. And I click on this PDF and it's gone. It's not there. It's a dead link. Or we really need to think how we put this information out and how we communicate. More than 50% of traffic is on a mobile device. I know every site we've been making for 5+ years has been responsive. It's mobile friendly. Like this is something we rest our hat on. But realize that 50% of your traffic is going to a mobile device. So make sure your mobile site is good, that the content is there, but realize people are shopping and looking at your site and making a decision in a mobile environment. Okay, have a few here, just a few sites. Choate Rosemary Hall, just a quick shout out. The Brilliant Award and Gold winner. Like, this is really cool for a school to win an award. This site had the trifecta. Beautiful design, UX, compelling, on-brand imagery, and a fantastic copy that conveyed a meaningful message about the school. So look at these sites, like these ones that win awards, and part of that is what the school wants, what they're looking for, and then the school wants to submit for award with us. The Kennewick School District, a gold winner, positive user experience, focus on accessibility, bold colors and text, and great storytelling. This is all important. Like, check out some of these sites when you get free time. It really does a good job. Let's go overseas to an international school, the American Overseas School of Rome, another gold winner, a W3 awards also. Purposeful and engaging content, dynamic layout, excellent imagery, infographics, and videos. I think we all realize, like, people don't read as much. They love infographics. They love videos. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, so let's make sure we're picking the right photography, working with our designers. But what does a video do? Like, a video says way more than 1,000 words. It's so thoughtful when you can go in and see a video about the school, taking a quick tour, a day in a life of Miss Smith, right? Like, we all get this. But public school districts should be doing this. Private schools, charter schools, international schools, and for-profit schools. Because this is all about telling the story. So one thing I've been sharing for years is that A website's lifespan is 3 years. 3 years. And now I've been beat by Forbes. Forbes is saying 2 years and 7 months should be the average lifespan. If your website is more than 3 years old, I encourage you to budget for a redesign. Now, a redesign can be affordable going with a theme design. So you pick a pre-built environment or you go for a custom design. And I really think it depends upon the image, the brand, the budget, the value that your school puts on design. I think design is hugely important for telling the story of your school. So I lean towards custom a lot. But budget has a lot to do with this, right? Budget has a lot to do with this. So we have a package that fits every size school and every type of school, whether you're a charter school, a independent school, an international school, or a public school district that's really small, or a district that has 70 plus schools in it and many, many students. Okay, let's keep going. So bringing your design to the next level, Wednesday at 1:55 today. Now that's what I call web design. I encourage you, if you're like, hey, I'm thinking about this, and then how do you pour some sugar on your theme design, right? Like, how do you make it special? So again, a couple sessions I would consider. 75% of all clicks go to the top 3 search results. 93% of online experience begins in search. Nothing new here, everyone. Nothing new. Thanks, Forbes, for stating the obvious. But here's what's important. Go look at your website on Google. There's like a website, per se, that's sitting on Google that everyone sees before they get to your true website, right? It's not a website. It's content related to your school. It's reviews of your school. It's these links. So what people are doing, like, hey, I'm considering this school. What you want to do is go to your homepage, but then you look at your analytics and you're like, geez, they keep clicking on tuition. And they go to our tuition page. And on that tuition page, we don't talk about financial aid. We show the number and our bounce rate's like super high. Or people are clicking through and they're bouncing because they're getting to the wrong content. There's ways to work through this. We have a team that does this. But here's what's important. Make sure you're paying attention to the way you look on Google, right? The way you look. Okay, if you're like, hey, I need more information. I want to get my web traffic up to my site. I want better traffic. I want to get more inquiries if I'm a private school, charter school, or international school. We have some sessions for you if this is of interest. Okay, let's keep going here. Digital ads give you immediate control. How many of you are doing digital ads? Like if you have, if you're a public school district and you're trying to pass a bond, or you have a board of ed meeting coming up and you're trying to get something out, why not run some ads? Why not make sure this is showing up in your local area? You can pick zip codes. You can be very specific. If you're a private school and you're going after certain area codes or certain areas where income's at a certain level and you want to run ads, or you want to make sure you're getting your information out in specific areas, you need to talk to our digital team. You need to go to sessions and learn how this is done. Okay, learning PPC strategies in 2022. And by the way, you might be like, I went to this last year. I don't need to go again, but really this content changes. The way it works changes. So Thursday, 2:35. And by the way, this is Eastern time. If you're like, what time is this? So everything here is on Eastern time. Email marketing. Some of you are doing this, which is great. Some of you are on our old technology. E-Notify, we need you to get over to messages here and send out beautiful emails, right? Mobile-friendly emails, right? Because we say, like, how many people read most of their stuff on their phone, right? Like, not everyone sits behind a computer all day. And you got to realize people are getting this content. So beautiful interface to add content, personalize, we have this integrated. So this is emails part of Messages XR. So you might already have some of these components, but we're adding now SMS, so you can send a text out to your school, and voice. So again, we close the whole loop in how you communicate. We're just going to continue to make that better as we go. But really encourage you to use our email technology. It ties back to the website. You can link, tie things together, and this whole piece works together smoother than ever before. Again, if you're looking for more information, Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Let's keep going. Let's talk about amplifying recruitment and retention efforts. So this is more for independent schools, international schools, some charter schools. Net tuition is 74%, let's just say 70% of the operating budget that's paid, right? So when a private school is running, 75% is coming from tuition fees every year. So we got to make sure we're filling our seats, right? We have some endowment money. We have some of that. Public schools, it's a lot of schools are moving to school choice, right? Districts, if you're in a state that has school choice, you want to keep those tax dollars, right? If you're a charter school, you're like, hey, every tuition, every student counts. And then you can just see how these schools are running. And now also, we're also dealing with, there's fewer kids that are going to our schools. From where we were in the early 2000s to where we are now, we kind of peaked out in 2007, and it's been downhill from there. I did my part. I have 5 kids, so I'm trying to keep above the average here to make sure this line doesn't go down too far. I'm joking. I'm not joking. I do have 5 kids. But I think it's really important knowing that there's less parents having their kids apply to your school. So we need to make sure our website, our communications, and all of these pieces are the best they can be. So your school's experience is no longer compared to just your direct competitors. In 2020, 2021, more parents looked at online schooling than ever before. Wait a minute. Like, of course we want our kids to be in person. That is true, but there's a percentage of parents that are now saying my kids are going to do this stuff online. 1, they disagree with the curriculum at the school. 2, they might disagree with the COVID policies. Or 4, like they don't feel comfortable with the environment of schools, whether it's COVID, safety, whatever it may be. There's just a change going on. So we got to continue to think, how do we stay number one? How do we keep our schools filled, right? As a communication director, your job is to make sure you're marketing, that your school is aligned with messaging, and that we're getting enough active leads in for our schools. So I really like this diagram. I think this is a huge one. Again, you're going to get a copy of this. But this has to do with like all of our schools in different ways. And some of this won't apply to districts, but some of it definitely does, depending on what you're thinking at and what hat you're wearing. So unbranded search, we want to make sure you're showing up on the search engines with the right keywords. And if you're not, you need to be. And I also tell schools like, hey, you might be like, enrollment's fine, but what happens if we have a downturn in our economy next year, right? 2022, 2023 school year. Starting to think about that now, right? And we want to make sure we have enough students. So make sure you're set up to do SEO, PPC. Make sure you're up and ready to run. And you're doing light touches right now. But at any time you turn that dial and you can increase your spend in what you're doing there. But if you're not set up, it takes time to get set up. It takes time to get going. And you don't need that. You want to be able to turn a lever and turn a switch when you want to go. School websites, right? We get this, right? This is what we do. This is our core. Make sure your content's up to date. Make sure you have a good content management system. Make sure you can update content on the pages you need. Then you want to do some inbound marketing, right? You want people to download something. You want them to share their information, their interests. It's like an inquiry on your site. Or, hey, picking a school or considering this district or considering this charter school. So you get their information. You know they're interested, but they're not sure yet. Then you put them into a workflow, right? We have these inbound marketing tools. And one of them is workflows. So you run this. So when a parent or someone fills this out, now they get added to this campaign. And they're getting an email like saying, hey, thanks for getting this view book or downloading, choosing a private school. Thank you for doing this. A week later, you share like, hey, we have an open house. It's virtual. Here's what we're doing. Come look. You didn't send this out. It's like already pre-built. And then you go, hey, seats are filling. There's only so many available. Hope we can talk if you're considering this school. And then you share like some activities going on at the school so the students can see whether it's online, you're sharing some live streaming stuff, or they can come on campus. And then the fourth one's like, you really should make a choice. Our seats are almost full, right? You work them through that whole process. You want them to fill out the inquiry form, right? You want them to go through enrollment and contract online. And this is with our SchoolAdmin product. This was a new acquisition last year. But we're tying this all together, right? Your admissions decisions communicated well, admissions checklist, admissions forms, the inquiry, through the application, the whole process through workflows. You're pushing the integration, so we connect the SIS up. So anytime we're commuting school to home, it's all tied in tight. We integrate with the SIS again for data, but also for like you communicating, so making sure you have the right data in there. If you're using Messages XR, you're enrolled for first day of school, you're pushing out messages, the workflows are in place, like welcome to school, this is what you need. Here's your portal you can log into. Here's a private area that you can use the same login you're using to log into your school computer to your portal outside of school, and it all pulls together, right? And then you become an alum. But our goal is to like tie this together and use our marketing technologies to make sure your admissions office is in the best spot it could be, right? And this is probably a little bit heavily focused on international schools, independent schools, and charter schools. But there's magnet schools, there's other schools connected to districts that this might fit your environment, but not your whole. But again, here's just some of the SchoolAdmin folks at Finalsite. We've integrated lots of pieces, right? So you can seamlessly tie things together. It's the automated process of sending data is tied in between them. There's integration now, no more manual uploads. It's like, I know everyone's saying like, this should be how it works. Like, we do not want to upload anything. We want to make it as simple as possible for you, that it's set up and it works. That's our goal. But we do feel tying this all together is really important. And here's another session at 10:45 today. SchoolAdmin enrollment. A lot of you have seen this interface, but those that haven't, it looks very much like Finalsite's interface. Beautiful reporting. It really tells like where people are in their process, where everyone is, so you can have multiple people seeing this. And again, there's different sessions today at 11:50 and Thursday at 11:50 if this is of interest again. And again, like when they roll this out, they really personalize it so your school can really shine. And it's a really customized experience for your school and your school process. We do give tips, like we work with so many schools, hundreds of schools, doing admissions processes. So we really get this, and we really can give some good input while we're setting this up if we could enhance your process or make it better as we go. Again, here's some more sessions today at 1:45, tomorrow at 2:35. Again, exciting stuff here if you're just interested in this. And now let's get to just leaning on like your partners and your products. Like this is us, right? Like this is what we love to do, is share content. Well, here's some content I wish I wasn't sharing directly, but we learned a lot in January. We had a ransomware attack. It was hard times. We invested in our security way before this, but I want to talk about schools. Do you know this? This is an amazing stat. Let me get the stat right, 83% of malware attacks are going at schools and schools' technology. In 2021, every 11 seconds, a company or business is getting hit with malware, right? So we learned a lot through this process, And we have a blog post that I think is really good. It's on our blog. We might share it out in the chat here. But it really goes through the things, if I was a school, I would be thinking about, and things that we learned that we want to share back with you. From how you communicate, making hard decisions, making sure you're connected with the media outlet. Be humble, be true. I don't wish this upon anyone to go through, but I do feel it's going to happen to almost everyone over a 5-year period of time. So be ready, be thoughtful, and we have some really good tips that you can implement. Again, we have a blog post that's out there. Let's close this out. Like with Finalsite tools, it's really important. We just posted it in the chat, by the way, this blog post, if you're interested. And so Finalsite, we want them to work hard for you. We keep making them better. We have our composer, our app, we have SchoolAdmin messages to send out emails, resource, the way to organize everything, posts, workflows, athletics, forms, and there's more, as we know. But, our goal is to make sure these tools are working for you in the best way possible. Those that aren't using workflows, I talked about this earlier. I really encourage you. If you're not, you really should. It will make your lives easier. We're in constant crisis now, right? How do we automate some of this stuff so stuff can go out on a time basis, and when people click on stuff, and we really, as communication directors, we can help our superintendents at our school, we can help our principals at our schools, and if we're helping fundraising and development at our private schools, or some of our foundations that are attached, this tool really works. Someone that's interested, you add them to these drip campaigns, and it's amazing. It works. Inbound marketing works. It's amazing. But I continued again to check it out. Cope, create once, publish everywhere. Go check this session out. This is really powerful, right? Like we're thinking about, everyone wants stuff in a different way. How in the world am I going to do this? I have to log into multiple products. How do I pull this together? And by the way, we don't expect you to tie this all together overnight, but you got a plan, right? I'm a planner. I love as a CEO to strategize, what are we going to be doing next year? What are the best ways to think about things? How are we going to go about this? So again, be thoughtful. Let's make sure we're communicating the best way, and come later today and learn more about this. Again, SchoolAdmin, let's personalize this content, how we roll out our admissions process. Again, Friday at 12:45, you're going to have a great session on this. Messages XR, again, I believe every school needs to roll out this environment. And you might say, no, we don't, John. We have a great tool today. That's good, but what we're trying to do is make it so your website, your email push, your texting, your voice, your social media, everything can be pushed in a simple interface, and it goes out to the environment. Okay, to be clear here, and I didn't mention this earlier, if you're an international school, a number of these Messages XR features will work for you, but some of them will not, depending on your country. But at least there's 6 up here. At least 4 out of the 6 will work for you in the US. Most of these are going to work for you. Large school districts, we need to talk to you about timing, when's the best to roll this out. But this should work for 80% of our schools without any issue. And again, go to this session on Friday again if you want to learn more. A lot of people ask, what's coming, John? What are you guys working on? What do you have behind the scenes? We're always looking at acquisitions to help our clients out. We think what do our clients need? What can we add? So we're doing that stuff over here in our spare time, which we don't have a lot of, but we are also updating our product. Do you know this? If you don't, you should. We have a software blog. When you log into your interface, you can see it on your dashboard. We keep updating new features every 2 weeks. We're listening to you. We're getting feedback from support. We're getting feedback from deployment. We're getting feedback in this loop. So we're updating our product all the time. So know that that's happening. We are deep into replacing Constituent Manager and group manager with a new people's module to make managing your people at your school easier than it is today. We know that constituent manager and group manager, it's a little old, it's getting long in the tooth. We need to update. We've been working on this for a while, but we are making significant progress. You're going to see this coming out. We're going to keep adding features to Messages XR, including like folders, like making it easier to organize, some more stats, quick messages, like just little things that you can do to speed up things. And then even like tying in social media even tighter than it is and how we do it through our product today. In forms, we're looking at registration field. There's other requests that people have added we're looking to add. SchoolAdmin, we're shared household and billing, giving you greater control over notifications. I don't know, some people might use Veracross. We have an integration that we're in beta with Veracross, but we integrate with many providers out there. So I just think like checking this stuff out and learning more is important. Even dioceses, I know we have some on the call today, but we're really looking at enhancing that. And I don't know any other admissions product that has gone as far as we have for dioceses reporting and that stuff. Okay, getting to the end here. We really, our client success team, our team, every employee, we consider our clients as family. Those that have been with us more than a year have probably really felt this. We have clients that have been with us over 15 years. But we really consider our clients as family. We look out for you, our team, every interaction we consider important. So, Messages XR, yes, we want people to use this. So we are going to incentivize you to buy this in the near term. So we're offering 3 months free. If you buy, it requires you have to add voice and text with a 3-year commitment. So it's not free, but we want to give 3 free months to encourage people to try this now. We do believe we will have way more than 50% of our schools using this, and it does take a little time to roll this out. So please be active, first come, first serve as we go forward with this. So please be active. So here's my last slide of the day. I hope today and the rest of this week is inspiring to you, and it's enlightening to you. I hope you get excited in sessions. I hope you're like, wow, look what I can do. We always hear people leave Finalsite U and like, there's so much I want to do. I don't have enough time. But here's what's most important, right? Enjoy the day. Enjoy the events. Have a good time. Mingle in with other people on the chats. I know we're virtual. Our goal is to get back in person, but this has been great. It's exciting being here with you today. And what do I want to do? As a CEO, as a leader of Finalsite, I want to make your lives easier. You guys have been heroes in my eyes dealing with parents and COVID and changes over the past year. If you're in Eastern Europe, like you're taking on refugees, schools are running, fundraisers and gifts and giving stuff and sending it overseas. I know organizations that are doing it. Like, it's amazing what our schools are doing. You guys should be really proud of what you have done. But our job at Finalsite, I want to make your job easier. I want to be there to help you. I want our team to be there, and I want you to rely on us. And we are going to double down, making our products better, our interactions better with you, our support, whatever it may be. We keep looking at it and refining it. So again, thank you. And have a great day. I'm going to pull Morgan back in here. I don't know if we have time for questions, but I'm going to, Morgan, what should we do from here for time?
Well, a lot of you have been asking questions already. I've been answering them as I see them come in. Please, if you do have more questions, you're welcome to email Jon directly. You're welcome to email me directly. I will put Jon's contact information in the chat here. And unfortunately, we did reach our time limit, so we're going to have to move on. But if you do have questions for Jon, he's always open to answering them, right? So here's the email address.
And connect on LinkedIn too. Like I'm big on LinkedIn if you connect and messaging through that. So if you'd like, connect with me on LinkedIn. But I love talking to our clients. So please reach out. That's how we learn and grow. So Morgan, I am 3 minutes over, but thank you everyone. Have an amazing day.
Have a great event. I will see you online.